Is it live? I think it is live. Hello everyone, this is Igor MGTOW and Video Games, currently live. And in this stream, I'm just going to be talking about whatever plans I have when it comes to my content, as well as general social commentary, as well as doing stuff on my laptop, playing Inkball and installing Windows. The general fun stuff that I like to do anyways. And this is the based stream. You won't hear about any beaver nonsense here coming from that famous beaver propagandist. So let's continue. So given that, I want to screen share because I actually want to play Inkball now. So I just want to see if this is working. Hold on. Isn't this supposed to work? Let me see if this is working. I hope it is. There we go, it's working. I can now play pinball, thank you. Actually, Inkball. I'm forgetting because this is Windows Vista, not Windows XP. So while this happens, I'm just going to be talking about stuff. So obviously, when it comes to my content, I'll still be making videos. But I've also decided to make more of them in terms of MGTOW instead of doing the rotation of MGTOW tech video, MGTOW video, tech video, because there are some things in MGTOW I wanted to discuss, and I believe discussing them sooner rather than later would be beneficial. Wait, actually, it's finally going. No, don't escape. You're not authorized to leave, sorry. I don't make the rules. Shit, it's escaping. No, you don't. Hooray, we actually got there, finally. Actually, now that the stream is running, I should just tell people on my Discord server that it's going on. So while I do that, I'm just gonna post it. Oh, and there's nothing in my Discord server, nothing new anyways. Anyways, let's see. Everyone, I am live. Link. And let's go. Send it out to everyone. And now it's time to return to the live stream so I can keep playing the game. Well, I'll just check how things are doing on the YouTube side. It's obvious I should be live, but just to be sure. Oh, okay, audio works, everything works. Thank you. So given that, let's vote. Okay, come on, I can't have done that. Wait, I was too distracted. I need to lock in. We're not going to lose this thing. Blue ball entered in blue hole, which is good. Now we're going to push the orange one to the orange hole, as is the natural order of things. Inner. Okay, I'm just gonna perfect. Actually, no, slightly cringe. No, you don't. Don't escape. Perfect. Thank you. Actually, I have to place it here. And another one down. Actually, the reason why Windows Vista here seems like high resolution is I'm actually doing this on my MacBook Pro, which means there's high DPI, so there's that. Come on, no. I have to guide it in the right hole. If it goes in the wrong hole, then we're all screwed, so there. So that's what I intend to do. Let's push it right here. And another success. Oh, wait, hold on, I have to temporarily pause it. I want to read a comment. Tech issues, that's always awesome, said no one ever. Said no one ever. Well, I don't think I have that many tech issues because everything seems to be working on my end. I checked. And the game is working fabulously well. everything is going the way it should be. So there, I'll unpause because I actually want to win this thing. So if you're wondering what the stream is about, it's a general purpose stream. You'll most likely see me yapping about whatever topics I'm interested in, as well as playing games, because that's what I actually am interested in right now. I don't want to do this grandiose hate stream like that butthurt guy on Rumble, and I actually don't have any profound topics for today. Those I usually save for full featured videos, which one will come out soon because most of the script for it is done, but now I just want to chill. And another one down. Hold on. Actually, I'm feeling brave. Let's do intermediate. Oh, what's that? Aha, it bounces off here. So I see what I think I need to do. Come on. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not built for this. Hold on. It almost made it. We almost had it. Damn it, it's a bit too fast. If I lose this, I seem incompetent. But given that I've started from intermediate, from beginner to all this, I can't really blame myself, now can I? No, I'll just do novice. This is easier. Actually, might not be, because I don't know how easy this would be. Actually, it does work. Hold on, where do you think you're going? There we go. Now let's push it. It will take a while, but I'll just block it. So it should work. This ball is slow. What's going on? By the way, Inkball is like one of my favorite games in Windows Vista. It's why I have this virtual machine. It was included in Microsoft Windows XP Tablet PC Edition, if I'm aware, for tablet users and in Windows Vista in general. It's sad that it was removed in Windows 7 because it's quite a nice game. All right, another one down. Wait, is anyone even... I'll just keep on doing. No, you don't. That's not how this works. Hold on. Wait, it actually switches the balls. This should be easy, because then we have 3 balls. One of them will fall here. That's exactly what we're aiming to do. Perfect, perfect. Almost there. Almost there. Another win. I'll pause temporarily to see what's going on. So 2 sets of eyeballs, so that's good. Actually, now that I think about it, I might as well try purple place. It will be fun. Right here. Seriously. Okay, software rendered is more than okay for me. I wonder if there's a way to... Yes, it's actually increasing in size. We can actually do this. The problem with high DPI mode is that it increases things more than necessary. So if this were on a normal laptop, gotta go for the high score. Go for the win, my guy. Yes, that's the spirit. That's how we roll. That's how we do things around this channel. We play to win. We don't play for the sake of playing. We play to actually win this thing. All right, let's see. New game. Let's see. Oh, what's going on? Hold on. I think this... I'll just do this again because it's kind of borked. I know hardware acceleration doesn't work, sad. That's kind of the problem with this one. See, the VMware version I'm using does not support hardware acceleration because the GPU is too old, so I have to basically improvise. So you'll probably be seeing a small window, so I'll still do what I can. How is it this? It's gotta be. I feel like it's rage baiting me at this point. Let me do this again. Oh, extras upgrades. Purple place. Hold on, please let this work. You know what, if it doesn't, I'll just go for Minesweeper or something. I'm not really good at Minesweeper, but it's still a fun game, so let's do this. Info was there, games, Minesweeper. Same error. Actually, this time it should reset. Finally! Now that's something. What happened? Oh, new game. Restart this game. Didn't quite see what happened due to lag. So the other games are the reason why I like Inkball better. Much better than this one because this is sad that most games don't seem to work without hardware acceleration, but that's Windows for you. Anyways, I'm going to close out of this VM and I'm going to download Windows version just to show you something. And we're going to be showing another Windows virtual machine. I should do this on Windows 2000 or something where Minesweeper runs far better. And we will circle back around to that, but now I gotta download Windows 10, so I can show you guys how Windows 10 is manually installed via deployment and imaging services. But I'm not just going to show you any Windows 10. I'm going to show you Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 2021. And the reason I want to show you guys that is because doing so, not a lot of people seem to know, but I've mentioned it in a video. Windows 10 2021 IoT Enterprise LTSC is actually supported until 2032, still receiving updates. So if you ever want to leave the normal versions of Windows 10, that is Home and Pro, but never want to use Windows 11, I don't know why you wouldn't want to, because for me Windows 11 is great, but I understand, then this is the option. So let's just download this. And the way I do things is that I go to this website called massgrave.dev, and in there, all right, I gotta show you the browser window. In there, I actually download the ISOs because in addition to hosting a way to activate Windows, they also host all of the Windows ISOs. So that's something. So what we're actually looking for, not this, is the download Windows and Office button. And what we're looking for here is Windows LTSC download. And we're looking for this one. Now, this is primarily the 64-bit one, which is good enough for our purposes. Sure, this Tavern said. And basically, you're going to be linked to this download file, and it's 45 gigs or something. Actually, no, screw it. I'm just not going to share this because there. I should have probably checked where it saves to before accidentally. I'm hoping the window wasn't shared. I wonder if it was. It should probably only show tabs or something. I'll recheck to see if there's something I missed. So general purpose live stream right here. I want to search back to. All right, let's see. It doesn't show the Explorer window, so that's good. There we go. And now it's going to download. And in the interim, I'm going to actually play Minesweeper, but this time on Windows 3.1, because that's like the one. Seriously. I don't need Windows Vista saved. Actually, I'm just going to do this instead. Windows 3.1 dev machine. Actually, I can switch on sharing because in this case, I actually want sharing to work because I want to start up this virtual machine. Ah, yes, I forgot to remove a floppy disk. Classic Igor error. But this system does work. So what's going on is that I forgot to connect it. I forgot to disconnect it, actually. All right, there we go. Much better. So given that this is Windows 3.1, it obviously uses MS-DOS. So let's see. Win. Much better. And now we can actually play Minesweeper like we're always meant to. Far better. I actually had a project of some kind that I was working on here, so that's why I switched to this virtual machine. Hello, Arkabi. Hello. Hold on. Why doesn't it say? Hello, Arkabi. Nice to see you. I don't see you quite as often as I used to, but still nice to see you regardless. In this stream, we're basically going to be playing games and having fun until like this Windows 10 ISO downloads. So there. No new updates for older Windows. That's usually true, except for when Microsoft rolls out an extended security update. So in that case, when it does roll that out, you're lucky because you actually have your older version of Windows, say Windows 10, supported for longer than used to. So remember, officially Microsoft made Windows 10 obsolete like October of last year, but in reality, it's supported. You just have to use the LTSC Enterprise editions instead of using the consumer versions. And honestly, who would even consider using the consumer versions? Like, especially in Windows 11, like, let me explain you the bane of consumer versions. In like the Pro and Home versions of Windows 10, actually Windows 11, you have mandatory Microsoft account, no way to use a local account, and you have Copilot shoved down your throat. Like every single thing in Microsoft Windows 11 has Copilot. Like, goddamn, why? Like, I understand that Copilot is this Microsoft AI, but not every single thing needs to have Copilot. You have Office Copilot, GitHub Copilot. Now you have Copilot in every single area of Windows. Like, most people don't want that. Most people want the actually useful features of Windows 10, like Windows 11, like tabs on File Explorer, and this new feature where you can actually move the taskbar back to the corners as well as the top of the screen. Do you remember one thing about Windows 11? Like, Windows 11 was the first version since Windows 95 to not have a movable taskbar. That's quite sad, honestly. You should also consider improving Windows 11's quality, and also by extension Windows 10's quality by not shoving down telemetry and not shoving down all of this integration. And by integration, I mean Copilot et al. And all these related services. So that's why I like using enterprise versions of Windows 11 better than all of the other versions. Home is like the worst version. Like, I wouldn't be caught dead using a home edition version. Like, if you're using home, I don't want to be mean to anyone, but that's gotta be embarrassing. Like, you either don't know how to reinstall Windows, or you think all of the crap Microsoft makes you put up with is acceptable. Yeah, we know. I'm just making an argument for the sake of making it. In a nutshell, do not use Home Edition. Oh, I have to hide because I've already shown this. I think it's lagging on my end, I'm not sure. But anyways, let's do what I came here to do, play Minesweeper. So we have Minesweeper here. Actually, let's make it larger. And I'm going to do that by inserting the VBE SVGA and setting a lower resolution so we can make it larger. Floppy, VBE SVGA, connect. All right. Main, file manager. ignore. Actually, that's like the second partition. That was part of the project I was doing. Anyways, we're here. So what we need to do is go right here and video mode. Let's set it to 5 and save and exit. Oh, what? I'm confused. Didn't save anything. Hold on. Oh my god, it's so annoying. Hold on, let me terminate this. Sorry. Jesus Christ. I apologize for this. I hope you didn't hear all of that annoying sound. Anyways, let's see where we screwed up. Nope. Sorry, not interested in opening the VM directory, but let's see settings. Floppy controller. Don't connect it power on, we'll connect it later. I hope this actually works this time. Yeah, I know, sorry for the technical glitch. Sometimes happens. I usually strive to avoid technical glitches, but they tend to be quite annoying, to be honest. Anyways, let's do WIN. E. Wait, actually it improved. So it actually did something. I just needed to quit out of the session. All right, please let this be the one. I need to, here we go, file options. Let's do auto arrange. Hold on. Arrange icons. There we go. Now we're going to have a far bigger Minesweeper window, which benefits all of us. Let me know if you see it better than last time. If you see a bigger... Where is Minesweeper? You can see it. However, let me know if you guys see a far bigger Minesweeper window than you saw before, because if you do, then things are great. If you don't, then I'm just going to trust that I actually did the right thing. And let's go. So we cleared this one. Let's see. Actually, I'm doing quite good. And for a moment. So actually, I did kind of lose here, but high performance does seem impressive because I managed to clear most of these. So that's what I should have been doing. Let's try this one. Let's try this multiple times. All right, I think I'm suspicious of that one. I'm obviously going to treat every single thing next to this suspicious. I was good to treat most of these as suspicious, but not exactly the most stellar of performances. We're down to 1%, but that's okay. Hold on. Let's see. Windows 10 should be at least halfway loaded, so that's good. Let's fucking go. That's the spirit. Let's fucking go. That's the spirit. We should do more Minesweeper. And we should also do more games in general, because remember, this is Igor MGTOW and video games, and we're gonna do video game things. Hold on. No. Actually, this is far better. Oh, what could be hiding? Bruh, I took the bait. Well, to be honest, I'm not really quite a good Minesweeper player, but I'm still doing good, which is great, because if I wasn't, then we would be in a worse position. But in addition to Minesweeper, I'll just minimize it. I also want to do something, because I have Visual C++, so I kind of want to do something with it. Let's just do new, because all right, close. How do I do a new project? There we go. Let's just ignore all of this is test. We're going to do an MS-DOS application, because That's gonna be easier. Projects, I'm gonna save it as. I'm actually. Hold on. I have to make a project directory because apparently I forgot to do that, and that's not really something I should forget. How come? All right, let's do projects. Disk. Oh, isn't there a way to? I'm surprised there isn't a way to make a new directory. I'm confused. Shouldn't have to. Is there a way to make a new directory from here? What am I missing? I'm not looking for this one. Certainly not looking. I feel like this. Options. When in doubt, I'll just make it from MS-DOS. It's far easier. Actually, let's do the. All right. McDear test. There we go. Far better. Now we have the test directory. Let's fucking go. And we're going to save it as test.c. Let's do it in test and add all. Come on, close. And now I should actually close out all of this. It's annoying. Hold on. This is a bit too big. I'll remove it. And the reason for this is that, well, I'm supposed to do this in the Windows 2000 segment of the stream. I actually want to do something now while I wait it up. Actually, good question. I'm not really sure where they are. They don't tend to show up here, but it's not like we need them to show up here. So that's my take on the issue. All right. I should be mindful of the Windows 3.1 mouse movement. It can be quite annoying. Hold on. Why are we in Mac? We should just do new. Include studio.h. Main. I want to see if this works. See, this is how I want to do things. Should work. I think even in this ancient version of Visual C++ of the Visual Studio Editor of the compiler, I think it should still work. Save as projects test generic test.c. Now that I think about it, we can actually build this thing. Hold on, how are there no source files? I thought that was the source file. Okay, this works. Now let's build. What do you mean there's a... Wait a minute. Be right back. Let's see the comments. Wait, no one's here. I have... Well, that kind of makes sense, but I'm not doing that just for the sake of doing that. And I'm going to try to actually build this thing. I'm just confused. How exactly are there no source files when this is the source file? What exactly is this supposed to have? What are these even? What are these? I think having these is what's hurting me. Let's try this again. Something is odd. Excuse me, but how is there no source file? That is the source file. Can we now get this to work? Seriously? I know that it compiled successfully, but how exactly does that not work is beyond me. Must be screwing something up. Alright, I'll just switch to Minesweeper to get off the boredom. Seriously. I think mouse sensitivity is a bit too high on this VM. Seem to be bruh. At least I'm not using my trackpad, which is good. Mac trackpads tend to be very good, but as you can see, Windows 3.1 is obviously not built for it. All right. Let's make some progress. Shit. Well, this one is actually good performance-wise. So there we go. We're 30 minutes on the clock. We're 30 minutes on the clock of this live stream. And it's still going on. Let's see. Half of it was downloaded. Actually, come to think of it, I might as well use this time do the inkball thing again. It's far better for me. Because this tends to be quite annoying. I obviously can do it, but it's annoying, so there. Actually, speaking of coding, let's actually code in an environment that is actually built for it. Time to switch. Well, let's shut down this VM for good. This tends to be quite an annoying VM to deal with, so there. And the thing about MS-DOS is that you don't really have this shutdown prompt unlike pre-DOS, so you have to shut it off manually. All right, let's start this. Ubuntu server. And obviously, since we're going to do the social commentary, general commentary thing, I should actually get around to doing it while this thing boots. So part of the social commentary that I want to discuss is the new video that I'm going to do. Basically, I don't want to do any spoilers, but I feel like there's this video that was done about MGTOW and the supposed alternative lifestyle agenda, and I feel like that framing is quite wrong because in actuality, the only alternative lifestyle there is, the only viable alternative there is to this to the mainstream, which is getting married, cohabitating, and living this kind of expected mainstream lifestyle, is MGTOW, the MGTOW philosophy. MGTOW is the alternative, so there. And given that MGTOW is the only viable alternative, I feel like this framing that there's a supposed alternative lifestyle agenda within MGTOW is quite disingenuous. If MGTOW is the alternative lifestyle, and if the thing we call alternative lifestyles are not lifestyles at all, because they aren't, and this will be elaborated on in the video, then I think the entire framing is wrong, and the entire discussion about, oh, Herder, there's an alternative lifestyle agenda. They want to add these alternative lifestyles here and there. I feel like that's kind of superfluous and stupid, much like the other streams that are going on, but as of right now, I just want to do this. Well, let's see. Test code. What have I actually built here? Actually, given that I haven't built much, let's do something. Like dear Python. I want to do some Python development. Let's see. Hey, we actually have Python for you. actually works. This will be good because then I can make Python scripts. cd python, ls, clear, fast fetch for the system specifications. Yeah, so we're running Ubuntu 24.04.3, which means I should be updating it around October, but it actually works. And given that this is a virtual machine, we're using the VMware SVGA2 adapter, but that's not really quite the problem. Let's do, for the sake of it, let's do touch random script.py. And in true tradition, we just use Vim. And remember, I like Vim. I don't like Emacs. I think I don't trust Emacs. I'm not sure if I should use Emacs as an editor. I'm just more into Vim. So that's there. So, all right. So we have to understand that in Python comments start with, so there. This is a comment. Now, I'm just going to print something. Print hello. Then print we are live. All right. This basic script should execute quite nicely. I quit Python 3. And it executed. This is good. That means at least we can print hello statements in Python, which is good. But I feel like I can do far more with Python than just print stuff to the screen. So I'm just going to edit this again. And actually insert. Also, for those wondering, if you want to quit Vim, the command for quitting Vim is like this colon, and then right quit if you're writing, quit if you're quitting, and exclamation mark quit if you don't want to save anything. So there. But actually, I'm just gonna initializing variables is simple here. So we can do variable a, which is like 50, variable a, which is like 50. We actually don't even need a semicolon. I made the mistake of adding a semicolon because I'm used to doing things in C, and Python is a different language. Variable B will be like 50 again. Variable C, let's set to 124. And now we're going to have D equals variable A plus variable B plus variable C. And I think that should be it. I think this should work. I could run into trouble here, so Python 3 random. It actually worked. I'm just going to do cat random script. So the code did work as expected, which is good. I wonder if there are any comments. No comments. So I'm just going to chill right here and do my own thing. No DMs, obviously. But there don't need to be any DMs. I was just checking Discord if you were wondering what that was about. Anyways, I'm going to switch to C because C is actually fun. I mean, I can do stuff in Python, but I want to do stuff in C. ls l. Oh, where is this one? What keyboard am I using? Where's the... I'd half expect. There we go. Now there's obviously like a different keyboard layout than I'm used to, so that's why it took me a while. Anyways, I'm going to start Vim. Actually, touch is when I want to create empty files, so I can edit them later in Vim. Touch string checker.c. I want to see if I can actually do this. It will be quite fun. Insert. And in this case, anything starting with a hashtag is not actually a comment. This is a comment. And is actually an include statement, which is what we will need if we want to include the standard library, since we're going to be compiling this with the standard library. And we're doing this because this is a standard library application, so we need the C standard library. So I'm going to ignore this. Set. Actually, let's see. We're going to be much better. I actually do want to compare strings, but I don't think I'm quite ready for that yet. So there. Int main C. All right, let's do it. All right, we're going to be doing printf, enter string, enter text. Oh, where's this? Oh, let's forget this. And this will prompt the user to enter text, and we're going to do I have to actually look at how this works because I'm sure sort of forgot, and I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to be, but. And by the way, I refuse to use AI for this. I know I can, but I refuse to be a vibe coder. I want to actually do this fair and square. Listen, I'm just not going to be caught vibe coding. It's just boring. Wait a minute, did it reset itself? I thought it downloaded. Like, come on. I should be able to. Actually, I want to see if there's any comments left. No comments. So there. I'll also be doing some moderation tasks behind the scenes, checking if there's anything hidden, because YouTube likes to hide comments, and I want to see if there's anything hidden in the comments, because there's some people who disagree with me, and whenever they want to state that disagreement, their comments just get hidden by YouTube, and it's just not practical. There we go. Actually remembered. I'm going to give myself a 50. Should give me char text user text. Let's do 50 for the safe side. And then we're gonna do scanf percent C/n user text. Let's see if this works. I think I should have done it correctly. Oh, it's S, not C. Forgot. And then we're going to printf. So that's /n user text. Let's see. This should hopefully work. Could also have an undefined behavior, so there is potential for that. GCC tag. Oh. Oh, where's the... I want to move it out of the way because it's annoying me. String checker. String checker.c. Wait, it worked. Hold on. Igor MGTOW. That can only mean one thing. There is indeed undefined behavior, and I have to solve it. We're not going to have any undefined behavior on the stream. No reason. So there's something that fixed the undefined behavior. I have to search it in the documentation. No, I know it's there. Aha, there we go. Input. I'll check the solution. So percent. Instead of doing this, we're going to do 49 cents. What we did was input 50. And then we're there we go. We almost did it. This should hopefully solve any undefined behavior. Just checking if my solution was correct. All right, let's write with this. GCC tag O, string checker.c. Seriously? Seriously, I thought it would work. I mean, it did work in Visual Studio, so that has to be something. I need to check, what did I miss? Clearly missed something. Percent. So the reason this is confusing is because in Visual Studio, this solution actually worked for me. So unless I'm missing something, then something has gone wrong, and I'm not sure why. I need to debug the code. Oh yes, and part of the reason I'm doing these live streams, and I'm going to be doing them more often, is that there's this YouTuber called NCommander who does coding live streams. So I'm going to be like budget NCommander, if that makes sense. Let's see, what exactly did I miss here? S99. No, percent number, and then wait, did it actually work? Let's see. Actually, that's a compiler warning, not a compiler error. Let's see. We're still dealing with undefined behavior. That's not good. Except now it's probably even more undefined. All right, it's re-downloading, which is good. The reason I'm doing this is that the Windows 10 ISO is still downloading. It's quite annoying having to wait for it. So actually, let's see which ISOs I already have, and let's see if I can actually do this. Let's see, it must be in downloads. All right. Well, I still have something I can work with. Now I'm going to show you a Windows install. The way I do it, so let's do it. I will solve this later. And now you're going to see this entire virtual machine shut down. And the reason for that is that I actually want to create a new virtual machine. Ignore, I don't care about Apple Card Reader. Who cares? Jesus Christ. Let's see. Oh wait, new machine wizard doesn't show. So there you'll probably see it later on. All right. This should work. BIOS. I don't care about UEFI. Actually, let's do UEFI for the funsies. For fun. 2 GB of RAM is enough. But obviously, single file. Actually, let's go. All right, the VM exists. Now I need to configure it so that disable. What do I want to disable? 3D acceleration because it won't work. And I want to set the ISO file to the ISO that I'm using. And this is going to be a Windows 11 ISO, but it'll do for this demonstration. All right, now we're actually going. We should also do this scaled because I want to 100% scale this so I can show you guys. The problem with not scaling is that, and I was too late. Nothing a good old reboot won't fix. The reason I do scaled is due to the or it should boot. Let's see, is there anything going on? True. And now it's installing, thank goodness. Whatever will we do without Windows? Actually, speaking of whatever will we do without Windows, if I am to use a Linux distro, I'm going to be using CachyOS because it's like the best Arch-based distro out there. And if I need Windows applications, hopefully I can just get by with Wine and Proton. And Wine and Proton are going to improve a lot because of Valve's effort with SteamOS. So thank you, Valve, for making open source software actually work better. And thank you for promoting Linux adoption. And one of the good things about Valve is that they're also going to be porting the RADV Vulkan driver from Linux, the AMD RADV driver, to Windows, which is good. Instead of using a closed driver for Vulkan, we're going to be having an open one instead. So that's something I would look at. All right, it's booting. We're getting somewhere. So let's see. I wonder if anyone's doing anything. It's not like I would care. All right, we're actually in the setup, but here's the thing. We're not actually going to go through the GUI because that's just too easy. What I'm going to be doing is this. So this is how I would install Windows in most cases, because I actually know how to do this, and this is like the best way I have of bypassing Windows 11 requirements. Oh, maybe too much. Actually, it should still work, hopefully. What's going on? Also, speaking of commentary, I know I have already specified, in addition to my video on the situation with alternative lifestyles, what I actually want to do is make a video about the philosophy at large, which I've already done, but make more videos adding on to it, because there's also been this argument about whether incels can be MGTOW, and I find that argument silly, because by the very nature of being MGTOW, you're choosing to go your own way. So even if you were formerly an incel, once you choose to go MGTOW, you've chosen to go MGTOW. Like, that can't be taken away from you. Simple as that. All right, so let's see. So this is how I install Windows. So what I do here is go to disk part. Disk part is like the most is the first necessary thing, because without disk part, you're not actually going to be able to partition the disk. So let's select disk 0. Let's partition, create partition, EFI size equals 200. Shit. Oh yeah, I forgot. I thought it would auto-convert to GPT. Clean, convert GPT, create partition, EFI size 200. Format fs equals FAT32 quick. EFI partitions need to be FAT32 due to how the bootloaders work, so that's that. And now we're going to assign letter Y or something. And now we're going to do create partition primary. And in this primary partition, that's where Windows is going to live. Assign letter C. This will make things convenient. Let's partition, just to confirm I've done everything correctly. And I can exit. Wonder if there's anyone saying anything. In this stage, now we're going to install Windows, and the way we do that is win file the sources install.win. And the reason I do that is so I can actually know which index to install. Hold on. It probably means I've misconfigured something. It should usually work. In that case, let me figure out something. Then, yeah, it's D. It should be in sources. I want to see if I even see the install.win. I starts with I. It should be there. So let's see what failed. Is aha, I see where it failed. Typo. Happens to the best of us. All right, actually, it worked. And now I'm going to pick index 2, which means in this case, apply image file the sources install.win index 2 apply their C. Now it's going to be doing its magic. I will check back on the chat. Is there anyone here? Oh, one person. So there. And now we're going to be, it's basically an hour from now. All right, let's see. Should be doing its thing now. Could take a while. Thinking properly. But yeah, right about now it should start. Because I don't think I actually aired out. Because with the error, if I aired out as I did here, I would have gotten an error immediately, which means, I don't know, it's actually doing something. It's just sadly taking a while. In any case, I also want to discuss plans for my channel, as well as my channel, the situation with others. So while this thing installs, I'm going to discuss the situation even in terms of the drama side of YouTube, because there's always something happening. So I have my channel here, the Igor MGTOW channel, and oh wait, it's actually working. And now you have two camps in like this MGTOW philosophy, in the MGTOW community. You basically have the camp dominated by the MGTOW is for normal men people, which is Brandon, Char, Seraphim, Arzang, et al., even including Hammerhand, though I don't think this is a criticism of Hammerhand, much as a description of who's on what side. And then you have this other group of people, which is like Messenger Rising, Iridium, Bullets for Teeth, and Manlitopia. And the thing about these two sides is that the people on one side think I'm on the other side. So you have people like Arzang and Char and Seraphim thinking I'm on Iridium side, while you have people like Bullets for Teeth once even calling me Nistal, whatever term he uses. So I'm quite the anomaly in this regard. Actually, the foul copy operation is doing something. But the reason for that is that none of them seem to actually understand what my viewpoints are and what I stand for, which is that I see myself as in terms of MGTOW, as MGTOW first, as wanting to build this MGTOW world, this vision, to the best I possibly can, and thereby of MGTOW. Part of that is promoting the artificial womb technology, promoting IVF, promoting surrogacy, all of that. The same thing Sandman often promotes. And I don't think the approach by either group simply works. The problem is that the first group, which is like Brandon Trueblood, Seraphim, Char, Arsing, and the like, including Cyber Totson, they don't want this at all. They think the artificial womb just isn't useful. They think that government would control it. They just have no confidence in it, and that's why some of their tenets are no new children, which I often dispute, and I dispute it for the same reasons: Iridium Kush, Messenger Rising, Manlitopia, and Bullets for Teeth. I also find annoying, but for this reason. Like, here's the thing. These people basically behave as if they're the side opposing tradcons, but in basically every single in basically the videos that they do make and streams, they use the F slur. They also really involve themselves in personal info and doing hate streams when they shouldn't, and they think their mentorship matters. They think that if you're not with them, then you're a Nistow or something, which is quite stupid. Which is also the same disease that Char, Seraphim, Frost, and even Arsang think. They think that if you do not agree with them on everything, they think, oh no, you want this alternative lifestyle agenda, that you want MGTOW to change irreparably, and that you want alternative lifestyles here and there, and that you're this fagtow or whatever they call it. And it's quite annoying because they're basically forcing you to pick sides, and I'm just not gonna do that. Like, even if you paid me $1 million, I'm not gonna pick sides here. I'm just not into it. I don't want to hear about beaver propaganda. I don't want to hear about, oh no, this person we don't like is actually this and this, which is actually what's happening on Rumble side. You know what's happening on Rumble side? There's this one person they don't like who is a Canadian MGTOW YouTuber. They don't like this person, and now they're going at him like probably hard. I'm not watching it because I don't want to be in their streams. I don't want to watch them. And because they don't like this Canadian MGTOW YouTuber, they're going to be talking about, oh, this is his dogs, or oh, he did something, or we think he is this bad person. And it's just cringe. I don't want to hear about it. Seriously. I don't get why this is happening. I don't think it's useful for MGTOW. I don't think it's the right thing for MGTOW. I don't think it's MGTOW first. I don't think it defends MGTOW values. So this screaming about this person's dogs and how they are bad or this or that, it's just a hate stream. Like, come on. Like, you'd at least expect the anti-tradcon side to not stoop to that level, but obviously you can't. And you want to know something? Some time ago, and these posts are obviously taken down now, Iridium Kush reposted a video from Manlotopia where I assume a Russian or Ukrainian soldier is being sexually assaulted, and they made it so that Char either did this to Saunders or Saunders did this to Char, and it's just gross. It's just bad. And Bullets for Teeth appeared to have defended it, and so did Iridium when he was called out by Inselect. So I don't get why one would do such a thing. It's stupid. And obviously, I have zero respect for Char Aznavour, very little respect for Saunders, if any. I probably think of him as being annoying if he started this whole ha-gay thing, but that's something to investigate. But not even these people should be parodied in a video of a Ukrainian or Russian soldier getting sexually assaulted, if you know what I mean. So these people do this, and then they wonder why people don't want to side with them. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, they dropped the worst optics nuke on themselves they possibly can do, and instead of doing much to address it, they still defend it, and it just makes anyone who's remotely against tradconism seem like a bad person. And you know what? And you know what happened in addition to people having to witness such a video? The same asshole, Char Aznavour, got emboldened. Like, this optics nuke gave Char a reputational boost. Like, this is absolutely the worst thing that has happened. And I feel like Iridium Kush and Bullets for Teeth should take the heat for it, because why on earth would you do such a thing? I feel like Manlotopia should also take the heat for it, given that he published such a video. But I digress. The thing about Manlotopia and, of course, Iridium is that they've done things, so many things that just annoy me. Like, you support Russia in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the most black and white conflict there is in modern Europe. You support what is essentially the genocide of Ukrainian people, the seizure of their land, you support a country which has the worst laws possible in terms of LGBTQ plus rights, despite being the anti-Tradcon side, all because Brandon, the beaver propagandist, happened to be in Ukraine. Like, the level of immaturity in this case is just off the fucking, it's just out of this world. All right, it's there. All right, let's do this. BCD. All right, let's see Mount Vol, just so I don't forget. All right, BCD boot. C Windows /s/f/UEFI. Hold on, I didn't do this correctly. I'll do CLS. BCD boot C Windows /SY. Now we did it. So you see, we successfully installed Windows here. Back to discussion. It's like, I want to ask Iridium and Bullets for Thief one question. How do you sleep at night defending a video that is quite indefensible, defending the actions of a certain Mamlutopia that is quite defensible? How do you sleep at night knowing that you support the worsening of conditions for the Ukrainian people and an illegal war? Illegal war by any metrics in terms of international law, in terms of the rules-based world order, in terms of what is going on. How do these people sleep at night? That's what I'm annoyed by. And you also have this Michelet thing. Oh, Michelet is the queen of MGTOW. Nobody wants to hear about it. No one wants to hear how a troll that is the enemy of MGTOW, by all accounts, is somehow the queen of it. No one even wants a queen of MGTOW at all. Nobody wants to hear it. Like, you have to understand something. MGTOW philosophy is built off of the idea of there having no rulers. No people commandeering stuff, no people trying to rule over others, no kings, because MGTOW isn't a movement and MGTOW doesn't have a hierarchy. Not only do these people try to effectively imply a hierarchy for trolling purposes, they put a woman, not just any woman, like the worst anti-MGTOW troll out there, as queen. No wonder these people are disliked. They make me dislike them. They should be the anti-Tradcon side. They should do everything they can to oppose Tradconism, and yet they fail miserably. That's not to mention, we're booted into mainline Windows given the larger progress screen. That's not to mention people like Charasambola, Seraphim Frost, the Portuguese MGTOW, and then you also have Arzang. And speaking of Arzang, that guy is, my God, the stupidity of that guy is off the fucking chart. Like, I make a post basically excoriating Iridium Kush over acting stupid. Then Arzang and Char Asnable think this post is somehow pro-Iridium and attack me for it. Like, my God, the stupidity. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm an atheist. I shouldn't believe in Jesus or God or the Messiah. And even I'm tempted to say Jesus fucking Christ, so there. Like, how do you take a post that criticizes someone and then you spin it as me defending that someone? Like, that's what I don't get. Like, if there's something I don't get, it's that kind of nonsense. And there's this, oh, Herder, we give Igor a grace period and he associates with Kush. I don't care about Kush. It's not my thing. I don't even like the guy. And many of the things I criticize him over is him not acting in an actually progressive anti-Tradcon way. In all honesty, Iridium Kush and Bullets for Thief are right wing, and then Char Aznavour, Seraphim, Frost, and Arsang are very right wing. So it's like two right wingers. Like, my God, why? Why would I choose any of them? This is why, though Cybertoxin at least acknowledges, is I prefer to be an island. I prefer to be, in terms of the MGTOW philosophy, an island doing my own thing. You get the picture? So, quite obviously, that's the situation. And here's something that Cybertoxin mentioned about me that I'm going to elaborate on. Cybertoxin mentioned that I basically think of myself very highly, that I think very highly of myself, and that I sometimes think of myself as better than others. I know he didn't say it in that way, but I get what he means, and I don't disagree with him on that point. I do think of myself as slightly better than others. Call me a snob or elitist or whatever, but I do sometimes think of myself as better than others, and I think deservedly so. Now, what people don't realize is that the disagreement is that Cybertoxin thinks me thinking myself as better than others is bad, while I think it's actually quite good and deserving. Why is it deserving? When you have people like Kush, Bullets, and Manatopia screwing up, and then you have people like Charazable, Seraphim, and Frost also being stupid, you kind of deserve to think of yourself as better than others and think highly of yourself, because you've actually demonstrated why you're better than others. So I actually think I quite deserve to consider myself as better than at least some of the people, even if it's the chagrin of Cybertoxin, because in a world of Charazable, Seraphims, Frosts, and Arsangs of the world, as well as Brandon, Trueblood, and also their mirror equivalents, not exactly mirror equivalents, since Kush and Bullets for Teeth are their own separate things. That doesn't mean they're good, but they're separate. Why would I not think of myself as better than any of them? Like, and others basically, why should I think of myself as not better than, say, Char or Iridium? Why should I think of myself as not better than these people? I don't say the stupid Hage meme, which is a meme which is basically a sub-target meme. I don't do shit that basically is a mega level optics sneak in terms of MGTOW, which is what Iridium and Bullets did, at least for the anti-Tradcon side of MGTOW, because MGTOW itself actually, despite some optics nukes which were conducted by people beforehand, including the Hage thing, it actually is doing good. People still like the philosophy. I can still get people to like the philosophy and its values. And I can still have some kind of common cause with people, even if they don't want to consider themselves as MGTOW. But if the supposed anti-Tradcon side, aka Iridium and Bullets, and I call it supposed because it's actually LARP, 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 Sahur. That's what I would consider it. Does these kinds of optics nukes by promoting grape videos, which, let's be honest, one of them did on Incel Access stream, then why should I ask to be mentored especially on Tradconism, by people who fight off Tradconism worse than I do? I believe Tradcons, in terms of actually stopping them and they just aren't doing it. And actually, you want to know how I know Windows is already booted by this stage when you see the screen? Function Shift F10. That's your friend. So when you see this when you see a larger than normal boot screen and this getting ready, you know that Windows is already turned on. Shift Function F10. Or let's do Task Manager. Let's see how well our system is doing. We're going to do set proc. I can only tell that we're getting into the OOBE because it's too late for this. But as you have seen for quite a while, we actually did manage to get in. At least show a command prompt. So that's good. Anyway, circling back to discussion. If you're the only halfway decent MGTOW in terms of the whole situation, or at least one of the very few, then neither side is compelling, and it's quite natural to think of yourselves as better than the others. Of course, I'm not saying that should, because thinking of yourselves as better than others can breed hubris, can basically make you ignore advice that shouldn't be ignored, can make you think of yourself as superior until it's too late and reality hits you in the face. But in my situation, I think it's quite natural. I wouldn't say it's good, but it's natural. Now, I'm going to check out, and I'm not going to share screen with Rumble. I don't even want to. But let's see I want to see what's going on the Rumble side. How much immaturity we're dealing with on their front. That's not to say there isn't any immaturity on Char, Seraphim, Frost, and Brandon's side, because there obviously is. But it's a case of it's like the two-party system in America, but not a single one is the lesser evil. So that's how I see this. And of course, Rumble shows me how Ilhan Omar is going to face deportation. Spoiler alert, no, she won't. Any kind of deportation nonsense is copium. It's copium. They're still doing this? Come on. Oh my god. I was just in Miss Elite's chat. You see that problem? These people actively side with Miss Elite, and they expect me to like them? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I actually think I might be rage baited, but there. Actually, I should hope to not be rage baited, because if I'm rage baited, then that just makes me look bad. It's understandable. Anyways, we're doing it at just a moment screen, which is good. And obviously, now that I've seen this other live stream, I'm quite confident that this is the better one, because this is the live stream that's actually worth watching. And the reason why it's worth watching is that we actually are doing something productive. We're installing Windows here. Or at least I am installing it. Hey, the ISO finally downloaded. Wait. Can you hear me? Am I saying anything? Just let me know if you can hear me. Am I saying anything? Ah, yes, I am. Sorry about that. Apparently, I didn't shut down the VM correctly. I'm probably going to be mega taxing my system by forcing two VMs at the same. And I want to do it the right way instead of force closing it. So that's what I'm thinking. So now that I've mentioned these two groups, as well as my viewpoints on them, I also want to mention, as it turns out, situation. Well, let's see. Please let me. Okay, I hope it responded. So, what should I do given these two groups and given how toxic they tend to be? What I would do and what I should do is continue doing my own thing and continue to refuse to be corralled into any kind of camp, be it Brandon's camp or Iridium's camp. I don't want to be in any of these camps, and I want to do my own thing, which obviously means with dealing people with like our Zang. But I would like to be white-pilled for a moment and hope that they have an IQ of at least above room temperature, so that they can at least understand my viewpoint. So if they have an IQ above room temperature, even like 80 IQ would suffice, then they will hopefully understand that I don't have any side, and that I would rather my channel do my own thing and remain quite isolated MGTOW Ireland, cut off from the rest of the MGTOW world in terms of drama, because I don't like drama. I think drama is stupid. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't appeal to my values or what I believe in. And there was a time in the MGTOW community on YouTube where we didn't have drama. And I just want that time to come again. So there. Content is the key, which includes both MGTOW and tech-related content, but in this case, much more MGTOW content than before. The expansion on Blue Sky is also what we need to focus on. Because, hold on, I think I might have. Yay, we're booted into the out-of-box experience. Anyways, the solution to the predicament is to stay out of anyone's way and to make content, because content is what I strive to make. I'm a content creator by heart, and I shall remain one. And I believe my content is the correct content. Because if you've come to this channel to watch these videos, and I know you guys have, then you've come to watch the correct content. And in this case, watching my version and my beliefs as to what MGTOW is and how it should work. Because my beliefs, I believe in a better MGTOW community, and I also believe in interpreting the MGTOW philosophy in the way it should be interpreted, as a philosophy for men to allow us to permanently opt out of that we can unite and rally around. This is the reasonable position. This is the position that would help MGTOW grow. But sadly, not many seem to share such a position. Now, in regards to the incels debate as to whether you need, or a more poignant debate, whether you need to have first been in a relationship to be MGTOW, I'm just going to say this. If you believe that you need to be in a relationship to be MGTOW, that you first need to be in a relationship, leave, then be MGTOW to be more exact, then what is the point of making MGTOW content if you're a content creator who has that belief system? If you believe that people need to touch the hot stove to understand it, what is the point of making content that warns about not touching the hot stove? About why you shouldn't do it and why life would be better without it? Because that's what I'm thinking. If you decide to make MGTOW content, by proxy, you should agree that people should be MGTOW without ever having been in a relationship, because that is the correct opinion. If you want to warn about a hot stove, then you should advocate for people learning about it instead of touching it and then learning it the hard way. For example, if you have an epidemic of, say, polio or smallpox or whatever, the position isn't, oh no, they should have been infected first and then they'll understand. The position is vaccinate, build herd immunity, build a population immune to smallpox so that it is eradicated and that we never have to deal with it again. And honestly, in terms of vaccinations, we should honestly say F the anti-vaxxers, because it is the anti-vax movement that is going to bring things like smallpox and polio back due to their ignorance. Vaccines save lives, and MGTOW is a vaccine for the average man. MGTOW is a vaccine for all of us. And by treating it as a vaccine, we treat it the way it should be treated. We are not responding to things, we are preventing things. That's what MGTOW and MGTOW content should be about. If you believe that there is a better way of doing things, that there is something to strive beyond just coping that you were divorced, and I fully understand coping, and I severely child support. First of all, child support should be illegitimate. Second of all, instead of having child support, we should do things like Mamdani and have tax-funded childcare or something. We should, instead of forcing divorced men to pick up the tab, instead of forcing MGTOWs to pick up the tab, we should have the entirety of society pick up the tab by implementing the Zohran Mamdani solution to social problems. That's what I'm thinking. Zohran Mamdani, his approach for New York, I'm hearing good things about it. Even I, who am very wary about socialism, as I'm from Eastern Europe, keep hearing good things. So I don't believe socialism is exactly going to work, but I do have faith that Mamdani is at least a semi-competent mayor. So instead of berating men about, oh no, they haven't been paid child support, we should deconstruct the concept of child support itself and advocate for going our own way so we don't have to pay it, don't have to deal with it. And in addition to advocating for going our own way, advocate for removing alimony to begin with and for building a form of child support that is more accountable to the father, more accountable to father's interests, and a child support that is guaranteed to go directly to the child instead of having to deal with the middleman, which would be the divorced woman in this case. That or the Mamdan. I want to see if I'm actually doing this correctly. Could be lagging. I'll actually rewatch a bit of my own stream to see if I'm lagging. Right, my stream should be here. And speaking of things, I hope you can. I had to vote between Charazabal and Zokran Mamdani. I'm instantly voting Zokran Mamdani. Like, that's just my viewpoint on things. Make a version of Zokran Mamdani. As much as I'm holding the nose in terms of socialism, that would be so based, because we would have someone who wants to improve MGTOW, wants to make this community better, wants to build upon what, and wants to see this philosophy succeed, this community succeed. If we had our own Zokran Mamdani, I'd be actually happy to tell everyone and their mother that I'm MGTOW, even in the real world, because we would have meaningful success. Zokran Mamdani would at least, a Zokran Mamdani type of guy would at least do some level of good for MGTOW. Charazabal doesn't do anything good for MGTOW that I know of. This masculinity month idea, he took it from SCE. SCE was like the last good and capable MGTOW in the group of people that only Master Wrench actually worth respecting. Like, the level of quality of Master Wrenches immediately after SCE's death is dramatic. The level of quality lost. You have best Master Wrench with SCE to having the worst of the worst, to someone who screams and cries about Hage every half second, and who behaves in ways that aren't conducive to MGTOW growing. So part of the reason why SCE dying, in my opinion, is tragic. He's a good wrench. He is. But that all of the wrenches that immediately came after him are horrible. So that's just... Also, I'd like to pay SCE did on this channel was masterfully deal with Miss Elite. And it is thanks to him and every other person who watched this stream at one point or another that we no longer have to deal with the problem that is known as Miss Elite, back then known as Penny Proud. We should be happy we don't have to deal with her anymore. And while we still somewhat have to deal with her, it is thanks to SCE that was minimized. Like, if there's one person I would trust to deal with Miss Elite and people like her, it is SCE. I wouldn't trust Char, I wouldn't trust Frost, I wouldn't trust Arzang because they don't seem to be capable, but I would trust SCE. So SCE, throughout his lifetime, back when he was alive and even after, has my complete endorsement. And if you have an issue with him having a complete endorsement from me, that is your problem. Because unlike certain people that dislike SCE, I actually like him as a person and I think he was a good MGTOW. Sure, I won't agree with exactly every single political viewpoint he may have, and I certainly wouldn't agree with a lot of the things he would be saying, but he's like one of the MGTOWs that is worth respecting, and like one of the MGTOWs that help moderate these spaces. I hope that any Master Wrench in the future models himself after SCE and instead of Char. Char Aznavour, in my opinion, is an example of what not to do as a master wrench. SCE, on the other hand, is an example of how to be a great master wrench. So that's just my opinion on that front. Hold on, let's see. Actually, I'm going to end the stream once Windows is fully installed. It's taking a while for it to do the OOBE out-of-box experience, so it's annoying. But while this happens, while this waiting screen happens, I also want to tell the story of why this channel exists and what its main purpose is. I did say it in both the MGTOW channel and the gaming channel, and while I somewhat revived the gaming part with this stream a bit and the tech part, this is also a MGTOW channel meant to discuss MGTOW content. And I would hope that I've done a semi-halfway decent job at that. I do believe that I'm good at discussing MGTOW content, and I would be quite proud to represent the vision of MGTOW that Liberation Y would have wanted, that Barbar would have wanted, in terms of technology that Sandman wants. Like, these are some of the people I look up to. So in honor of them, I would want to do some kind of MGTOW content, at least on this channel. Because these people are the people that helped build MGTOW, and I'm, of course, I would also consider myself one of the greats, having proven that MGTOW doesn't they did somewhat good there. So I want to say something. Barbar and Thinking Ape, as well as Liberation Y, paved the way for the understanding of female nature, paved the way for the understanding of MGTOW as a philosophy and how it works, and taught us what MGTOW is, what isn't MGTOW, and why it's good. Sandman taught us in terms of the technology and the technological solution and what should be done in terms of sex bots and artificial ones and like that, and he paved the way for that. And in the earlier content of Sandman, a lot of the content is quite high quality. So the early MGTOWs paved the way for the MGTOW philosophy to grow out and be something more than a simple manifesto. And Sandman, as well as others, including myself, added on to the technology aspect. But what I would like to say, my contribution in MGTOW in particular, my contribution to MGTOW is that I helped prove that age doesn't matter in terms of MGTOW, that whether or not you're in a relationship doesn't matter, and that MGTOW is a philosophy that is representative of us men as a whole, not just a certain class of men based on characteristics. But for those of us who believe that we shouldn't be married, we shouldn't cohabitate, and we shouldn't be in a long-term relationship. If we believe in those values, then the MGTOW philosophy is for us. Simple as that. And I would like to express one thing. As much as MGTOW content isn't seen as friendly in YouTube, I would hope that we would still at least continue on some level to teach the values of being single, teach why it's good, teach why it's necessary in this world, and also discuss long-term relationships and why those are traps to be avoided, as well as why the tenets of not being married, not being in long-term relationships, and not cohabitating matter. And if you're ever so inclined to add no new kids, then great, add that in your case. If we believe in those things, we are stronger together, and we should defend the philosophy on YouTube and elsewhere where it matters, because it is that philosophy that gave us the alternative. Keep in mind the word alternative to the mainstream. We have an alternative thanks to MGTOW. And part of the reason we don't need any alternative lifestyles or something like that is because MGTOW is the alternative lifestyle. MGTOW simply is the alternative lifestyle because it is the alternative to the mainstream. We don't need anything else because we have MGTOW. And we should be thankful for those who built MGTOW in the early days for providing us with this philosophy. So I express my gratitude to those who built it. And the way I would end this stream is MGTOW, don't get married, keep being red pill. And anyways, bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Well, that was all right. I should end it now. Wait, you were here. I didn't know you were watching. Anyways, I gotta end the stream, but I didn't know you were here. I will do a full-length video on all of the topics I discussed, but I have done a stream because I want to add a stream too. But thank you for being here, and bye-bye. I would love to see more content from you, Yorkshire. Aha, in that case, you should rewatch the stream. You can do it from the beginning or when I really get into the commentary. The first part of the stream is basically me playing some Windows Vista games and me trying to do some kind of programming or Windows-related work. And the second part of the stream is discussing some kind of drama within MGTOW, as well as my overview on what I think the philosophy should be, as well as what I think I should do in such a situation. So yeah, based to hear that you're making content, you're always the best content creator, you're always based. Thank you for doing what you're doing, Yorkshire. It is actually your videos that inspired me, so I forgot to add you to the list of the greats. But yeah, I'm glad to see you here, and bye-bye. I hope you all have a good day. Thank you for watching.